Climate is the greatest existential threat that birds and we have ever faced. Florida is on the front lines of climate change with sea level rise, increasing storm frequency and intensity. Really, what happens for birds is what's happening for us, and we all need to work together in order to move the needle.
It's really important to our local governments to be able to, well, what are we going to do with that information, those smaller cities? And Audubon said, well, hey, why don't we figure out a way to help them understand what their municipal operations are? And that's where this cohort was born.
Looking at your greenhouse gas emissions and calculating how much you're contributing to climate change will actually lessen the impact that climate change will have directly on your community.
It's incredible that these local governments are stepping up the way that they have to invest in getting a baseline for their greenhouse gas inventory. Really, they can't implement efficiency and renewable goals without knowing where they're starting. And this is a profound commitment on their part to make sure that their policies are data-driven for accountability and transparency for their voters.
Students learn valuable skills that they can use for a career in sustainability and resiliency. They also learn how to collaborate with local governments. They learn about municipal operations, as well as how to do reports for the actual inventory itself.
So our municipal inventory, and I know this will be true with a lot of other local governments, being able to see where your biggest emissions are will drive what kinds of decisions you make to reduce them. Understanding what the largest one is, even down to the smallest one. It doesn't have to be that you always address the largest one. So we will put policies in place about our vehicle fleet. We'll put policies in place about our buildings to change the way that we're operating among all of our facilities.
We've learned from this program how much greenhouse gas emissions we are emitting through our operations as a city. And knowing that information allows us to basically create a baseline for success to which we can measure our sustainability initiatives to see if they really are making a difference in reducing our environmental impacts. And it's also allowed us to even, calculate damage costs of pollutants, since pollutants such as greenhouse gases do have a damage cost that may not necessarily be seen up front. So it's really allowed us to, get a full understanding of our impacts, and then now we can do something more clearly about them.
So completing this municipal inventory will really help not only our city staff, but also our elected officials really see where the sources of our emissions are coming from. And it can help us develop future projects to meet any reduction goals that we set. So that might be upgrading buildings to have more energy efficient lighting, sealing our building envelopes so that we can have better HVAC systems and better circulation. Or other bigger projects like installing solar panels or electric vehicles, anything like that. It'll really help us use the data that we've put together through this inventory to build future projects.
Well, that's just beginning. And the fact of the matter is that I want to show and I want to see the baselines, not only for us, but for the other groups, the other municipalities, the other counties. And then we have a goal to set for all of us, and that is to improve that. Everything starts at the local level. I like to call it the incubator of all new ideas.
I expect that most municipalities will have this kind of inventory for greenhouse gas emissions in the future. To correct our mistakes, we need to first know what we're doing wrong. and getting an inventory of that is the first step.
We need to all work together as one voice to take care of ourselves for the future and to make sure that we are giving the next generation a beautiful environment, an environment that we want to experience. We think that we've been a good model, and we would like to continue with that. We have to be the example for the future.